The ratings are in for this week's edition of AEW Dynamite on TBS, the post-Wrestle Dream episode. We also have the quarter-hour ratings for this week's edition of WWE NXT. An interesting situation where a hoax on social media has actually led to AEW wanting to book the match that was falsely advertised. We'll let you know all the details on that. Plus, Nick Khan has revealed that there will be a behind-the-scenes WWE documentary coming soon to Netflix. Carlito could be set to leave the Judgment Day. NXT's representation at Bound for Glory has been confirmed. Rhino and Bob Ryder have been confirmed as the next inductees into the TNA Wrestling Hall of Fame. It looks like the annual WWE Christmas live event at Madison Square Garden is not going to be happening. We'll let you know why. Hook is set to reveal who attacked his father Taz in the parking lot recently, next week on AEW Dynamite. The Undertaker reportedly is set to host Donald Trump on a future episode of his podcast. Bad Blood reportedly does excellent numbers on pay-per-view. And QT Marshall has been challenged by AJ of the Costco Guys. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's begin with the ratings for this week's edition of AEW Dynamite on TBS. Now, AEW has bounced back in the overall viewership and ratings for this past week's AEW Dynamite after suffering their lowest viewership in the show's history last week. WrestleNomics has reported that the October 16th edition of Dynamite rose to an average overall viewership of 633,000 viewers, a 92% rise from last week's viewership of 329,000. But the show was down on the trailing 4-week average, which stands at 690,000 average viewers. Dynamite in October has also fared worse than in the same period last year, with this month's overall viewership currently standing at 656,000 as compared to the 825,000 last October. The 18 to 49 key demographic also increased for this past week's show, rising from a 0.10 to a 0.20, a 100% gain. But like the overall average viewership, the ratings for the October 2024 Dynamite shows are significantly lower than October 2023, as this month's average rating so far is a 0.20 compared to a 0.28 for the same period last year, a 29% fall. The show ranked number 6 for the primetime slot on Wednesday on cable, behind the likes of the Los Angeles Dodgers versus New York Mets MLB game, New York Liberty versus Minnesota Lynx in the WNBA, Hannity and Gutfeld. Now, in terms of the quarter-hour ratings, these come courtesy of WrestleNomics, so shout out to them and be sure to subscribe to their Patreon service. This past week's Dynamite started strongly with an average overall viewership of 766,000 for the first quarter hour, which featured promos of Jon Moxley, MJF and Adam Cole. The first quarter, though, was the high point of the show from a viewership standpoint, as it tailed off throughout the evening, with the last quarter hour registering just 563,000 viewers, while viewership dipped even further in the 10-minute overrun, as the average overall viewership dropped to 521,000. Now, many people are wondering, how did this compare, shall we say, with NXT? Of course, Dynamite had 633,000 viewers, but once again, just about NXT did edge out AEW Dynamite in the ratings. Of course, not head-to-head like they were last week for 1 hour. In terms of the quarter-hour ratings, once again, these come courtesy of WrestleNomics. Shout out to them and be sure to subscribe to their Patreon service. Now, as you can see, NXT did not have the best week when it came to their total viewership and key demo rating, with the numbers settling down to what was largely expected towards the end of their tenure on USA Network after a very strong opening 2 weeks on the CW. As similar to AEW Dynamite, the high point this week for NXT was the opening segment of the show, which had 727,000 viewers, and it then tailed off throughout the evening. But unlike AEW, actually the final segment did see a little bit of a rise in viewership, rising up to 607,000, as I mentioned, just edging out AEW Dynamite when it comes to the total ratings. However, Dynamite did have a higher key demographic rating. Now, this is a really interesting story because a social media hoax may turn into an actual match. While AEW International Champion Konosuke Takeshita was front and center on AEW Dynamite this past Wednesday for a segment with fellow members of the Don Callis family, for a while on Wednesday, fans thought he might be stepping in the ring. Earlier in the day, a graphic emerged claiming that Takeshita would be defending the title on Dynamite against CM Al Star Máscara Dorada. However, it later emerged that the graphic was none other than a well-made hoax hoax created by a fan, leaving the match as none other than wishful thinking. It may have also had the match actually had a situation where fantasy is going to be moved into existence. On the latest Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer discussed the fake graphic and revealed that AEW was aware of its existence. He also stated the graphic has inspired those within AEW to try and make the match happen, with it being said that AEW officials loved the idea of the match. Despite that, Meltzer expressed skepticism that the match between Takeshita and Dorada in AEW was imminent. Now, AEW fans are familiar with Dorada, who has appeared on episodes of AEW Rampage and Dynamite back in January and February of this year. However, Dorada hasn't wrestled in the United States since, after he was one of the many CMLL luchadors who had their visas cancelled in late February. Dorada wasn't among the luchadors reported to have their visa issues resolved in April, and it's unknown whether he is able to work in the USA. A match between Takeshita and Dorada would be possible in CMLL, though it's not clear if that's currently on the cards or not. A big announcement here from WWE President Nick Khan regarding more documentaries heading to Netflix. A new WWE behind-the-scenes documentary has been confirmed for a debut on Netflix, as announced by WWE President Nick Khan. Bloomberg writes, quote, World Wrestling Entertainment, part of TKO Group Holdings, is set to debut a behind-the-scenes documentary series on Netflix, WWE President Nick Khan announced on Thursday. The new series is part of WWE's expanding partnership with Netflix, Khan told the University of Southern California Next Level Sports Conference in Inglewood, California. Earlier this year, the two companies signed a $5 billion 10-year deal that will bring WWE's flagship program Raw to the streaming service in 2025. Netflix has ramped up its sports content in recent years, starting with its 2016 docuseries Last Chance U, which followed the lives of community college football players in Mississippi. The streaming service has since released hit sports shows, such as the car racing documentary Formula One Drive to Survive and The Last Dance, chronicling Michael Jordan's final season with the Chicago Bulls. Netflix also recently premiered Mr. McMahon, a documentary exploring WWE founder Vince McMahon's career and his controversial exit as chairman of TKO amid sexual misconduct allegations. McMahon has said he'll vigorously defend himself against the claims. Now, at the time of recording, there are no further details regarding the content or release date of the documentary. Of course, we get any more details, we'll let you know in an upcoming video. Now, Carlito possibly could be on his way out of the Judgment Day. According to WrestleVotes on WrestleVotes Radio, WWE have discussed removing Carlito from the Judgment Day and providing the former United States champion and Intercontinental champion with a singles push. If WWE are considering reviving Carlito's popular apple-spitting Caribbean cool gimmick, it's unknown, however. He said, quote, We are hearing discussions to potentially remove Carlito from the Judgment Day and get him back into a singles competitor, possibly a singles push. There is no timetable, we haven't heard much. I'd expect by the end of the year, maybe a singles run by Carlito is in the fold, but we do know those plans have been discussed to separate him from the Judgment Day, WrestleVote said. Now, Carlito became associated with the Judgment Day after turning heel in April. He was officially added to the stable following SummerSlam after Dominic Mysterio turned on Rhea Ripley and Finn Balor turned on Damian Priest. As of right now, the Judgment Day consists of Finn Balor, Liv Morgan, Dominic Mysterio, JD McDonough, Carlito, and Raquel Rodriguez. Now, the crossover between WWE, NXT, and TNA Wrestling is set to continue, and it's going to continue at Bound for Glory. This year's Bound for Glory is set to take place on Saturday, October 26th at the Wayne State University Fieldhouse in Detroit, Michigan. Last night's October 17th episode of TNA Impact featured an announcement for a match at Bound for Glory featuring a current NXT star. For over a month, across both NXT and TNA, NXT's Wendy Chu has been regularly teaming with TNA Wrestling star Rosemary. At Bound for Glory, they will team up again as they challenge for the TNA Knockouts Tag Team Championships against current champions Danny Luna and Jody Threat, collectively known as Spitfire. Spitfire recently retained their title over a pair of NXT stars on TNA Impact when they defeated Carly Bright and Kendall Gray. Now, speaking of Bound for Glory, of course, it's a tradition that weekend includes a TNA Hall of Fame ceremony. With TNA's biggest event of the year, Bound for Glory, rapidly approaching, a number of annual festivities that surround it are starting to take shape. One of which is the TNA Hall of Fame induction ceremony, where the class of 2024 has officially been announced. Joining the TNA Hall of Fame will be Rhino, who originally joined the company in 2005 after being released by WWE earlier that year. The War Machine quickly became a fan favorite and would win the NWA World Heavyweight Championship at the inaugural Bound for Glory in 2005, a show where he wrestled 3 times in one night. He would stay with the company until the end of 2010 before making a brief return in 2014 and eventually re-signed on a full-time basis in 2019. He has since won the TNA World Tag Team Championship twice and became a key figure backstage as a mentor to young talent. The other inductee for 2024 will be the late Bob Ryder, one of the co-founders of TNA in 2002, and was on the original fishing trip with the Jarrett family, where the idea to start up a new promotion in the wake of WCW's demise was first spawned. During his 18 years with the company, Ryder occupied multiple positions, including Director of Travel Operations, and even became the company's longest tenured employee. Ryder would pass away, sadly, in November 2020 after battling cancer for many years, with the company paying tribute to him after his passing, calling him the heart and soul of the promotion. Ryder's induction makes him the 4th non-wrestler to be inducted after Earl Hebner, Don West, and Mike Tenay, and the 2nd posthumous inductee after West, who was inducted in 2023 after his passing a year earlier. Now, a bit of a change here when it comes to a WWE tradition, really, over the holiday period. It looks like there isn't going to be a Madison Square Garden live event this year. Now, WWE announced the return of Saturday Night's Main Event recently, with the events that take place on December 14th in Long Island, New York. The announcement of the event led to speculation that the annual WWE tradition of running Madison Square Garden the day after Christmas on December 26th, and whether it would still be taking place. Despite PW Insider recently reporting that an event at Madison Square Garden would take place on December 26th, WWE has now announced the remainder of their live show dates for 2024, with no December 26th show at MSG listed. Instead, the event on December 26th will take place in Jacksonville, Florida. WWE has also confirmed their live event taking place in Orlando, Florida on December 28th, which is the same date and city as the AEW World's End pay-per-view event. If we get any more updates on an MSG live event, of course, we shall let you know. Now, Hook reportedly is set to reveal who attacked his father recently in a parking lot next week on Dynamite. Taz, of course, has been off AEW television for a number of weeks now, with him undergoing knee replacement surgery, and Nigel McGuinness has replaced him on commentary for AEW Dynamite. When Taz left for his surgery, he was announced as being attacked in the parking lot ahead of Dynamite as a cover for his departure. In the weeks since Taz's attack, his son Hook has been searching for the culprits, confronting a number of AEW stars backstage at the show. In an AEW Digital exclusive, Hook revealed that he successfully tracked down the security footage of his father's attack and has identified the attacker. Hook said that he will handle the attacker on next week's episode of Dynamite. As to who that is, we still don't know. Now, of course, we're heading towards election day in the United States, and Donald Trump's involvement with WWE is set to continue as he campaigns ahead of the United States presidential election on Tuesday, November 5th. According to Alex Eisenstadt of Politico, Trump is expected to appear on the Undertaker's 6 Feet Under podcast next week. Quote, Trump is expected to do an interview this week on the Undertaker podcast, which is hosted by retired wrestling great Mark Calloway, per person familiar, the journalist tweeted. Now, this seemingly, again, is going to be dropped in the next week. Of course, if we get any more details on that, we'll, of course, let you know. Now, Bad Blood has done great numbers on pay-per-view, according to Dave Meltzer. Propelled by the red-hot Drew McIntyre CM Punk feud, along with the Bloodline saga, Bad Blood may wind up being one of WWE's best-performing PLEs of the year. Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer Radio specifically singled out pay-per-view buys to convey the show's success, noting that while most people now watch PLEs with a Peacock subscription, the number of non-subscribers who bought it on a pay-per-view is a good indicator of how successful it was. Quote, Bad Blood ended up being a huge success on pay-per-view, Meltzer said. It did not beat Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, or SummerSlam, but the next biggest thing this year was Elimination Chamber, and it's far ahead of Elimination Chamber. Even though pay-per-view is not a great and important revenue stream for WWE anymore, the variance of buys will tell you what hits and what doesn't. And basically, what that says is the Drew McIntyre Punk, the Roman Reigns Cody Rhodes tag team match were major movers. Meltzer added that Bad Blood will likely be the best performing B show this year, meaning that a PLE, not one of the big four, the Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, and Survivor Series. He said Bad Blood was about 46% ahead of Bash in Berlin, which was the second biggest B show of this year behind Elimination Chamber. Meltzer had previously reported how in demand Bad Blood ticket sales were on the second-hand markets. And finally, we could be getting a match involving a TikTok star and QT Marshall. QT Marshall hasn't wrestled for AEW in 2024 as he settled into a backstage role since returning to the company earlier this year, but he might need to dust off his old boots as one of TikTok's biggest influencers has challenged him to a match at Full Gear. Back at All Out in September, the Costco guys, AJ and Big Justice, made a special appearance in AEW, revealing that AJ has a wrestling background and is friends with Sonjay Dutt. This has escalated into QT Marshall getting into a war of words with the TikTok star, leading to AJ interfering one of Marshall's independent matches at the beginning of October. Now, AJ wants to take his feud with Marshall to the next level, as he revealed on TikTok that he wants Marshall at the Prudential Center on November 23rd. Quote, QT Marshall, you wanted an answer. You challenged Big Boom AJ and you wanted an answer. Well, I came back to you, QT Marshall, and you felt the boom. Now, QT, you go back to Tony Khan tonight. You tell Tony Khan tonight that there is a new CCW champion and his name is Meto, and you tell him that Big Boom AJ said you give us that match. November 23rd at the Prudential Center at Full Gear, and Big Boom AJ will be there to bring the boom. Now, the social media star announced via his Instagram page at the beginning of October that he had signed a one-match deal with AEW, and it seems that he has picked his spot for where that match will take place. Marshall has yet to respond, as he may still be feeling the effects of AJ's attack on him on October 5th, which cost him his CCW World Championship. But there you go, guys, the latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button, be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.